Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new format Total Therapy Association podcast. As you know, we used to be on Anchor and Spotify, and we're now going to video. And it's actually a change of host as well, because I'm Michelle, just in case you haven't met me, and I'm going to be the new host of it. And this is Sarah, who used to be the old host when we were on Anchor and Spotify. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing really good, thank you. Are you doing okay?
I am. Very different being sat here, but yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's very different for me being sat here because I used to do the final editing checks.
Yeah.
And now I'm in it right at the beginning, and it feels really weird for me. Can you tell us what have you been doing since the old podcast finished? Well, they're now called the podcast archives. But what have you been doing, and how come you have to give up doing it?
Well, what haven't I been doing, Michelle? I'm meeting myself coming back at the motorway, I think, half the time. So, in light of everything that I've learned along my journey of life, I'm now working for the YMCA full time, and I actually help the youth. So I am mentoring in schools, I'm running youth clubs, I'm running life skills sessions, social impact projects, walking the streets in outreach and talking to young people and trying to help them. Alongside that, that's my full-time job, but alongside that I'm still helping my clients with massages and treatments and stuff. And then I'm also I also helping the youth in another respect, as I do one-to-one boxing with them for children who are kind of like going down the wrong path and they need positive activities to bring them back. So that's why I'm just so busy.
Oh, that's amazing. What is it like walking the streets, and why actually do you do that?
It's quite awkward because we spend our lives telling kids not to talk to strangers, don't stranger danger, don't
Yeah,
talk to strangers.
yeah.
But in my capacity in the YMCA, obviously I've got a uniform and a lanyard and a badge and everything, and I approach the youth. And mainly I'm doing it in rural areas at the moment, so they're quite out in the sticks where there's not a lot for the youth to do. So we're trying to build youth clubs in the rural areas, so they've got places to go, rather than be stuck out on the streets and causing problems in the communities. So it's a case of building relationships with the young people, and then getting them to come to our youth clubs so that we can help them sort of grow as human beings and give them something positive to do.
That's brilliant. I wish we had one like you in our area. We could do with one about you in our village. Yeah, I think there's plenty of villages around where they get a little bit of vandalism and people hanging around littering because they're just bored.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Definitely boredom, and then they're all on the internet or whatnot, so they're
Mm.
getting into things that maybe they wouldn't get into, like,
Yes.
back in our day we would never have known what was going on in London, so we wouldn't be influenced by that, but nowadays they are, so it can be quite a tough job sometimes.
Well, and what are you doing in your clinic now? Are you still running your clinic?
Yes, yeah. So on a Wednesday, I'm still in the clinic, just seeing to some of my clients. But where I was working in the boxing club, like, so my journey started, I was all about mental health. And then
Yep.
working in the boxing club after doing Indonesian with you guys, it's kind of like I'm dealing with sports injuries as well now. So my kind of brain is opening up to another side of the body, really. I've gone from the mental health aspect now into the body, and also obviously we know that muscles being tight and everything can affect our mental health, so it's a double whammy.
Absolutely. It all ties together, doesn't it? The mental health can affect the physical, and the physical can affect the mental. It all really ties in together and works together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So you've come a long way really since I first met you and since you first started doing the podcasts.
Yes, definitely. I never thought I'd be on a video. um, I
You're
mean,
you're now one of our guests.
I know. It's so weird because when I originally started my own podcast, the Crazy Life podcast, it was because I was trying to get into the world of being a life coach and trying to help people, with yeah, like, using my story and my expertise or the training that I'd done, but I couldn't put myself on video. So I felt massive shame about how I'd behaved when I was mentally unwell. And I couldn't put my face to it because I thought everybody would judge me, everybody would think this of me. So I thought, oh, the best way to do it is get on a podcast, no one can see me, and, like, share my story. And then, you know, here we are, sort of how many years later? So it started in lockdown, didn't it? 2021. So
It
three
did,
years
yeah.
Yeah, 3 years later, here I am. Never thought I'd massage anybody. Never thought, because speaking to Tam and how knackered she is sometimes, and her back and everything else, I thought that's not for me. But now here we are, and I'm just about to join your acupuncture course, so it's mind blowing for me.
Wow, brilliant. Brilliant. It'd be amazing to have you on that.
It's scary.
Really. Yeah. And normally we start off the year and we've got between 8 and 20, like really sort of faces that I don't know, and it takes me ages to learn their names. But having one friendly face on there that I can turn to and go, Sarah, you know all about that, don't you? That would be so good. Are you
Well,
going to do London or Macclesfield, do you think?
oh, definitely Macclesfield. That's the right. Okay, it's really weird. It's really weird to say, but like every time, it doesn't matter what course it is, but every
Mm.
time I come to Macclesfield, it's like you leave there with this aura, just this bit like this heart, like all the energy's flowing out my heart, and I feel so loved and so like inspired to go on and do more things. It's like Macclesfield's the place for me. Even when I went to Cheltenham and did the cups, it was good because it was total therapy and it's Sarah and Tam, but it wasn't like Macclesfield. Macclesfield's got a special place in my heart because that's where it all started.
Yeah, a lot of people say that actually. They say they do prefer coming to Macclesfield, not just because the facilities are really great here, but also because of the atmosphere here.
Yeah,
It must be down to me.
it must be.
No, it's down to our teachers. We just all our teachers are full of passion and really love what they're doing. They have experience in what they're doing, and they just pass that on to everybody.
Definitely, it shines through. Like every single one. Like so, I've done a course with Chris, Sarah, and Tam now, and every single one of them, it's just a wealth of information. Like you go home and you're like, it takes you a few days for it all to kind of like sink in and then start practicing it. And the best thing about it as well for me, especially because I'm so, what I'm like, Michelle, I'm so nervous and so doubtful of myself. And the fact that I can just pick up the phone at any point and message any one of you guys and say, I've done this, what do I do? And there's an answer. And and also it's not just the answer, but then it's the backup of, like what you said to me before we start this, don't be so down on yourself. You do know this. It's that
Yeah,
confidence boost and that support that you get from everybody as well.
yeah, yeah. I think I had one this morning where the girl asked me a question and I answered it with, why are you asking me? You know this. Come on, you answer this and you tell me what you think. And she did. And I said, well, you're right. So why are you answering me? Sorry, why are you asking me? So yeah, we do like to encourage people to grow and not just rely on us.
Yeah.
And of course, on the forums, we get you all to rely on each other as well. So you're all answering each other's questions, which it helps you all grow, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the forum is so helpful because people from all over will just jump in and say, "This is my experience. Do this,"
Mm.
you just all help each other, and I love that network of people who are just there to help, and not there's not
Yeah,
it's not like how can I put it? It's not like a falseness. It's real. It's a
yeah.
genuine.
There's no competition. It's like we're all in it together.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
we're all there for each other. It's one big happy family, as everyone
Yeah.
keeps saying.
And the more happier we are, the more happier the clients are, and that helps the world, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, if we can get somebody in, say, London, saying, "I've dealt with this issue before, and I tried this, and it really worked for me," to somebody in Scotland, that may not have happened before, and that client in Scotland, could benefit from that. And was originally my dream, to get everybody working together and get everybody to be the best they can be. And so what used to get me is that within the NHS, the really great guys, and they can rely on each other and they can message each other and they can rely on each other's experience and refer. But in complementary therapy, that only doesn't happen. But now with us, it does. Because if you're in the Total Therapy Association, you're in that kind of network already. We've got you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's brilliant. Because I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but to me, massaging people and being like involved in their mental health journey and stuff like that, it's so important. It's important
Oh,
to get it right. So to know that you've got that support is beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah, brilliant. So what I'm planning to do with the podcast from this point on is basically turn it into that kind of thing. So looking at each other's experiences, trying to get some teachers. Well, we're going to get some teachers. They will do as they're told. We're going to get some teachers to give their experiences and maybe give little snippets out on the podcast. But I want to try and get some VIPs in when we build up a bit, once we get a bit more trusted.
Yeah.
So I've got my eye on a few names. Even authors of books I've got my eye on. So
Go big.
I'm going to approach people and say, can we just get you for a little bit on our podcast and see what reactions we get?
Yeah, that, oh, honestly, it's amazing.
So I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited about the direction that we can go in. And it's really great to get everybody on video. It's lovely to see your face on video as well, because all this time we've been listening to your voice. I had a lovely person message me a while ago as well, saying that they're going to come on one of our courses. And they actually wrote me, I didn't forward it to you, a lovely email saying that they were inspired to come on to do acupuncture because of your podcast.
What?
Yeah. So
Well, well, thank you very much, and I'm actually flattered that I've inspired somebody to take that step, because look
yeah,
at
yeah.
people that it will help moving
And I'm
forwards.
sure there's more out there that aren't saying it,
Yeah,
been
yeah,
inspired. So yeah, it was really, really great. And thank you for doing it all.
no problem.
Um,
I've
and
loved every single show. Honestly, I sit there, right, and you know I do the podcast, and I kind of give a brief outline of what I'm going to do, and I know what I want to ask next, but I'm like, because the person, I'm just like, so their information, I'm absorbing it all, and I forget where I'm at, and I'm like, oh, you've blown my mind. I think I said you've blown my mind 3,000 times on the podcast,
you
but I
did.
meant it every single time, because it was like, wow, wow, wow. And every time I get off the podcast, I'd be like, again, like I'd just come back from Macclesfield, like, this is amazing. Like the people
Yeah.
that come through are really special people that have just got like so much passion, and that's what I think it is. It's the passion from them that inspires
Mhm.
me to be more and to learn more. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a beautiful cycle, isn't it?
It is. It's a great cycle. So coming up, hopefully we've got Martina, who's been with us before, and she has got a client story that she'd like to talk about, but she needs to approve it with the client first. If not, she's going to try and pick another one. And then we've got Philip, who is actually chomping at the bit and has messaged me 3 times since we spoke, saying, "When am I on? When am I on?" So he really wants to get on again. He wants to start his own podcasts, but he wants to get on this one as well. So I think next person I might message is Philip and try and get Philip on first, because we can't hold him back. He
No,
really needs to. Yeah,
he is a
he's
force.
so keen.
Yeah, it's a force of nature. Every time I've interviewed Phil, it's like I know what's coming. Like, I know I'm going to send this message. It's going to be like, boom, 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 boom. He's like one of those puppies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get me on, get me on, get me on.
Yes, that's exactly what he's like. He's like a really enthusiastic puppy. If he hears this, I'm going to shrink. But he's actually teaching acupuncture in London, which is why I asked you whether he was going to go and do it in London, because he's amazing. And I'm afraid we had about half the class messaged me after last weekend saying, "Philip's amazing, Philip's amazing. He's so wonderful. I really understand things when Philip explains." So he's really good.
Is he? Oh, when does that one start?
Sorry, say again, sorry.
When does that course start down in London?
February.
Oh, February. And
Yeah.
September's Macclesfield, isn't it?
End of September for Macclesfield and beginning of February for London.
Interesting.
I've only got 12 places on that one, so it's limited places.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, I'll have to see. That's me just procrastinating, going, oh, I could give it another 6 months.
Have a think anyway and see to let me know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, gang. So, as you say, we're going to try and get a few more people in. So, starting off with Philip and Martina, hopefully. And then, if you fancy coming on the podcast, if you think you've got something to say and it's some experiences to share, just let us know and we'll do a quick interview, see what you've got to say, and then maybe we can get you on a podcast.
Who,
Okay?
me? Me?
Not you
Okay.
yourself. No, you've already been on one. I was talking to those guys out there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Maybe I should maybe I should have made it a little bit more clearer, but yeah. So if anybody out there wants to come on a podcast, let us know and we'll do a little interview, maybe on WhatsApp video or something, and get to see each other, have a quick chat, see what you want to say.
Yeah.
But for now, shall we sign off?
Yes, perfect. Thank you ever so much for the opportunity of doing your podcast. I have learned so much and had so many good times. And honestly, like, I left it in my review for ET when I did ET with you guys. Since meeting you all, my life has just propelled forward. Like, I haven't told you this, Michelle, but I actually own this place that I live in now. I'm a homeowner.
Wow.
And I would not have been able to do all of this without, I probably would have, but it would have took me a lot longer. Without meeting you guys originally and getting into the world of total therapy, I don't think I'd be where I am now. So I am eternally grateful to you all for everything.
We're eternally grateful for you for doing the podcast for us, because I think if we hadn't have spotted you when you were doing the Crazy Life podcasts, and it was actually me that came on your podcast to start with, wasn't it? If we hadn't spotted you then and got you to do ours, we wouldn't be doing this now. So
It's amazing. I'm so
thank
glad that
you.
it's grown into this as well, And who knows, even with this little podcast now, I might have got rid of my fear of being on video. So I might start putting myself out there for my own business.
Brilliant. See you do that.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Okay. See you next time, everybody. And thank you for coming, Sarah. See you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.